a cold-blooded killer who terrorized Northern California series of cryptic letters that baffled police and the public for decades, and a mystery that remains unsolved. But could the Zodiac Killer finally have a name? Meet Gary Francis Poste. Is he the man behind the mask? 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 It was the late 1960s, and Northern California was gripped by fear. On December 20th, 1968, two teenagers, David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen, were shot dead on a quiet road. Just months later, another couple, Darlene Farron and Michael Mageau, was attacked while sitting in their car. This was the beginning of a spree that would claim 5 confirmed victims, and perhaps many more. The killer, he called himself the Zodiac, taunting police with his disturbing letters and cryptic ciphers. And for years, he seemed untouchable. The Zodiac's letters weren't just boasts, they were threats, confessions, and puzzles. He sent them to newspapers, daring readers and the authorities to crack his codes. He described his joy in killing, gave details only the killer would know, and taunted, "I am not afraid of the gas chamber." But it wasn't just the brutality of his crimes that kept the world in suspense. It was the mystery of his identity.
I like killing people because it is so much fun.
This is the Zodiac speaking.
For over 50 years, the Zodiac Killer's identity remained a chilling enigma. But in 2021, a group of cold case investigators known as the Case Breakers identified a new suspect, Gary Francis Poste. Poste, a former Air Force veteran with a violent past, was connected to the Zodiac through a series of startling clues.
The so-called Zodiac Killer became known as one of America's most prolific serial murderers who terrorized the San Francisco Bay Area in the late 1960s. Investigators have struggled to put a face to that name for years. And tonight, some answers, and it is all thanks to the Case Breakers. It's a group made up of former law enforcement agencies, military intelligence officers, and investigative journalists. They believe that Gary Francis Poste is a very strong suspect to be the Zodiac Killer.
Poste, a former Air Force veteran with a violent past, was connected to the Zodiac through a series of startling clues. From photos matching the Zodiac sketch to coded messages that seemed to reveal his name, evidence began to pile up. Poste's associates even claimed that he confessed his dark secret before his death in 2018. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence is hidden within the Zodiac ciphers. The Case Breakers claim that by removing letters from the ciphers according to a pattern known only to Poste, his name could be revealed. And then there were the testimonies, friends and family recounting odd statements, unsettling behaviors, and even confessions that hinted at Poste's dark side. While intriguing, the evidence connecting Gary Francis Poste to the Zodiac is largely circumstantial. The ciphers are open to interpretation, and much of the testimony is anecdotal. But there's enough here to keep the case alive, and the possibility that we're closer than ever to knowing the truth. Despite the compelling connections, not everyone is convinced. Law enforcement has yet to officially name Poste as the Zodiac, and critics argue that many so-called clues are coincidences. DNA evidence remains inconclusive, and with each passing year, the trail grows colder. Yet the story of Gary Francis Poste adds a new and tantalizing chapter to the Zodiac saga. Whether Poste was the Zodiac or just another suspect in a long line of theories, the question remains: will we ever truly know who the Zodiac Killer was? The Zodiac Killer may never be caught, but his shadow looms large over America's unsolved mysteries. As new suspects emerge and old evidence is re-examined, the search for answers continues. One name stands out: Gary Francis Poste. But is it enough to close the case, or just another twist in the Zodiac's deadly game? What do you think? Could Gary Francis Poste be the Zodiac Killer? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more chilling unsolved mysteries.